Hello, everybody. Welcome to Telli Talks, where we talk about life, growth, relationships, and all things in between. We are here at the Classic Cat, and I have a very special guest with me. He is an actor and a comedian, Noah Grossman.
Heyo! Oh my goodness!
Cheers
Whoa.
to you coming here.
Thank you.
Being here, and we're gonna have a great conversation.
Cheers! Oh, that's so tasty.
So good.
Oh, and
my
that's
favorite
got
drink.
Really?
Yes, my
That's a
favorite
great
drink
choice.
here.
Tequila and coffee together. What a
Yes.
good decision.
And what a good way to wake up.
I will agree with that, dude. I need a wake up. I am. My apartment has been so dry. Do you get like seasonal allergies kind of vibes? Does that ever happen to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
February's been kicking my ass this year.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I hope you feel better.
Thank
and
you.
I hope
I feel-
the drink makes you feel better.
This is what you know. What? Let's do it again. How about that? This is what I need.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
It's medicine.
So good. So, for the people that don't know your journey, can you tell us how you got to where you are today?
Yeah. So, hello everyone. My name is Noah, and I'm an actor, comedian. I started acting when I was 13 professionally, doing mainly commercials. I never did anything like crazy enough that it's like, there you go, now that's what you're known for. The first commercial I ever did was a U.S. Census commercial in 2010, which is really funny because that's probably the most money I've ever made on any one project, because it was a national commercial. Every state had to know about the census, so you got residuals every time it got played in every state.
Wow.
So that was a great
Was that your
start.
first, or that was your
Very
most?
first one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my very first commercial
What a blessing.
and my most thing. Yeah, but it showed, as ridiculous as it is, when you act in Los Angeles, you have to go to a lot of auditions. So, like, my parents were driving me places, and they were used to it. I'm a youngest child. My older brothers played a lot of sports, like club sports, so they might travel places, and I wasn't very athletic. I've always needed glasses until recently. I just got LASIK, so if I'm blinking a lot or crying,
Congrats
that's
on the
why.
LASIK.
Thank you. So they got to see that the time investment was a payoff, similarly to when my brothers would play a sport, and they were good at it, they would get invited to play in a tournament somewhere. So they'd figure out, how to get us to Cooperstown or something like that so they could do something cool. So going on all these auditions and then my parents seeing, oh, he's getting callbacks, and then, oh, he actually got a commercial, this can mean something. The money was obviously cool, because I got to put it in an account for me to waste later totaling a car. But the main thing was that it led to me being able to continue to kind of go on these auditions and then grow into acting and a love for professional acting. My main background when it comes to, like, I guess the skills that I have is mainly just improv. Improvisational comedy is kind of the basis of everything I do and how I act. It's kind of my first introduction to being on stage in a fun way, not doing like a school musical. That was never for me. I didn't really like musicals. But being able to do improv where there's no costumes, there's no sets, and you're making stuff up as you go, and everyone's having fun, and it's super collaborative. That was my introduction to comedy. And then through my love of comedy, I then fell in love with acting, whether it's drama. Mainly what I do is comedy, sketch comedy, a lot of personality-style content now on YouTube. But yeah, it all started with that first commercial. Then from there, I got a couple more. I was doing commercials for Disney, called Game On. So it was a series where I was like the gaming insider for Disney games. So like Club Penguin. I was the guy who was like, hey guys, listen up. There's a brand new update coming to Club Penguin. Polar bear's coming and he's going to freeze the island. Like, watch out. Don't talk to too many pedophiles online. Not really, but so I was doing those, which was super fun, and I got to travel a bit for that. When Where's My Water, the app come out, I got to go to Hawaii and cool things like that. So little commercials was the start, small guest stars here and there, some on Nickelodeon. My biggest break before the current thing I do, which is Smosh, was I was on a show called Nick Studio 10. Sorry if I'm just doing
you're
a whole
good.
block.
I'm taking it all in.
Okay, everyone can
and then
just
I'm going to
listen.
ask you questions.
Yeah.
So you're good. I'm taking it all in.
I appreciate that. You asked me a question. I guess I was loaded. So it's called Nick Studio 10, and it was probably the most fun thing I did before Smosh. But it's also the first time that I experienced internet hate, which was super fun. But it was called Nick Studio 10. We were live. But live TV is still on a 30-second delay. Live from New York on to Nickelodeon, 5 days a week. cutting into active shows. So we were called an interstitial packaging block, which means that we're not a commercial and we're not a full show, but we're production-wise making what would be a 30-minute show, but we're splitting it into 2 to 3 minute segments and playing those throughout a 2-hour period. So it sounds really complicated, but what that means for the viewer, which is why the show was not a success in any way, shape, or form, was you would come home from school, it'd be 3 o'clock, you'd turn on SpongeBob. At some point, at 3:09, all of a sudden you would hear static, like we're cutting, and then it would cut to us live in New York. You're like, where did SpongeBob go? And then we go, hey guys, today we're going to play Watermelon Smash Toilet. And then we just take a watermelon with a big hammer and we smash it, and then we throw a toilet. And it's really funny and it's really great. Cut back to SpongeBob. It's been 2 minutes and you've missed 2 minutes of SpongeBob and you have no idea what the hell just happened. But that was our show, Nick Studio 10. I don't know if I did it justice describing it that way, but I met some of the best people I've ever worked with, some of the coolest crew, some of the best talent. And I got to meet cool people, like I got to work with Ariana Grande once, and that's probably the biggest one, but some of the Big Time Rush people. But yeah, so that was kind of the biggest thing I did before. Now what I do, which is I act for Smosh on YouTube. Smosh is a huge internet comedy brand that's been around for now almost 20 years. I think we just celebrated 18 years, 17 years. Who cares?
Wow.
The point is that I've been lucky enough to now transition from kind of traditional television in a small way, but still a successful enough way to kind of keep me in the game. And then now touch into kind of YouTube and the internet, which has been really, really fun, doing sketch comedy and kind of what I originally loved, which is improv.
Absolutely. I love that. So I'm going to take it all the way back to the census commercial. And then we're going to get to the Smosh.
You didn't expect me to talk for 12
no,
straight
you're fine.
minutes.
Everyone comes here and talks differently about their journey because it's such a broad question. It kind of gives me a point of what you want to touch on in your journey. So it gives me a good plethora of conversation to go to. So I'm going to take it back to the census commercial. So for the people that want to get into acting and do commercial work, how did you find that particular audition to be in a census nationwide commercial? And kind of two question that I'm going to give you. How did you find that as far as audition wise? And for the people that don't know, that want to get into commercial work or audition work in the acting world, how does the residuals work for that, being that it was played so much and aired so much? Because all commercials are different. So I would just like you to touch on that particular nationwide commercial as opposed to a one and done type of commercial situation.
Yeah. So first, if you want to get into acting, I would say the key hubs are going to be Los Angeles. Then you probably want to go to Atlanta. Then there's, some stuff in Texas, and then obviously New York as well. But a lot of that is also like if you are truly, truly talented and you can do like stage stuff as well. I mean, in all locations you have to be incredibly talented. But I would say of all of them, the least buy-in is having one of kind of the three key entertainment abilities: acting, singing, dancing.
Atlanta, Texas,
Los Angeles, New York.
Atlanta, Texas, New York, and
Los
LA.
Angeles. Yeah, if you want to do stage stuff, Britain's great, but that's completely out of my wheelhouse. And British actors are beyond good. I mean, they will put Los Angeles actors to shame 9 times out of 10.
And they can transfer and change and transition into an American English accent.
Yeah. I can't do that. I can't.
It's tough.
I can't do it. But yeah, so if you want to get into acting, there's a couple of avenues. Also to understand, now is very different than, essentially 15 years ago, 2010, which is different than 15 years before that. But essentially it's the same, which is you want to go out and you want to find an agent. And an agent is someone who works for an agency and they will fence opportunities for you. Now, you don't necessarily need an agent. There are websites that you can do it yourself and submit yourself, but an agent will both get more jobs for you and be a little bit better looking when you're submitting and be able to kind of curate to
looks
better
more
jobs.
Professional, and you get more of the jobs that you particularly
Yeah. Some people get discovered, just being a waiter somewhere, which is great, but that's, the very, very rare. Yeah, compared to people who are out here doing it often. So you want to find an agent. They'll fence you the opportunities, but you can also go on different websites like Casting Frontier. There's a lot of them. I guess, why did I shout out Casting Frontier out of all of them? That's not even the best one, but it doesn't matter. You can find casting websites that are legitimate websites and kind of build profiles there, and also submit yourself for things. As well, when it comes to legitimate work, there's non-union and then union work. You'll have to do a lot of non-union work before you can join the union.
And how many non-union hours do you need to be able to get into the union? Or what are the steps to get into the union? I couldn't tell you how many
hours because there are different avenues to get in. So you can get in by doing extra work, and then there's going to be a number of projects, number of hours. If you're, on a crew, there's different unions for different parts of production. So if you're a writer, it's going to have different things to get into the Writers Guild. If you're a director, it's going to have different things to get into the Directors Guild. If you want to get into IATSE, I'm sure there's different things. But as far as the Screen Actors Guild, my way in was by just booking a union project. And if someone is hiring for a union project, you can hire union eligible actors. So that would be someone like me who didn't join the union but did previously do a job that was union. So through the Census commercial and through my Nickelodeon work, I was union eligible because I was doing productions that were union, but due to my status, I think both as a minor and because those productions were willing to pay a certain fee because of the size of the productions, that they didn't mind using someone that was
budget.
Yeah, and also because they were already union set. So the main reason why jobs are non-union and union is because if you are doing a union job, you can't just hire one union person. All departments are union, and therefore everyone gets a higher standard, which will then lead to a bigger budget, which then is obviously you need more money in order to do what you want to do. When it comes to residuals, the 2010 situation is the only time that I got kind of direct residuals in that way, and that's because it was the government and they were doing it by the union kind of to one of its highest standards. So there's many different ways in order to get residuals for a project. I'm just going to talk about the ones that I've experienced.
Right.
So through my work with the Census and through some of my work on Disney Channel, every time that it airs through a certain distribution method, so whether that's web and TV or web and streaming, TV, or some other way they might want to air it, I'll get paid every block that they would want to use it. So I don't think it's every time it's aired, but let's say they air it once in this 8-week period. So they might have to pay me once in order to use it for a certain period.
Right.
Yeah. And then also there's levels where then within that period, possibly they might have to pay me per use. So that was kind of like the Census. But those are like buyouts. So there's buyout periods and then there's just full buyouts. So I've been on commercials where it's, hey, here's $500 for the day, and then we're going to pay you $2,000 buyout, and we're able to use this commercial whenever we want, wherever we want, however we want. Right. I've been on things where it's like, hey, thank you for shooting on this TV show. You're going to get $450, and then whenever we want to air it, if we want to buy it for 14 weeks, we're going to pay you $1,500. And after those 14 weeks, if we want to air it for another 14 weeks, we'll pay you another $1,500. So they're like similar structures, but each one that I've experienced is uniquely different because I think the union is just very specific.
Right.
So nowadays, fast forwarding to 2024, I don't think residuals are really a thing for most people that are acting often. I think it would have to be a very unique, very, very high budget project. So a very high budget commercial, very high budget TV show. I don't even know what a network TV contract would look like now compared to 10 years ago. I really don't know. It's a very odd and evolving space trying to be a professional actor, and as someone who is lightly successful at it, in the best way, I don't see a future for most actors like myself being able to sustain themselves just off acting. I'm very unsure of the future. When it comes to AI and stuff like that, compared to acting, I mean, very, very scared. But even looking just 5 years ago, before AI was a thing, I mean, I remember back in, I think it was 2012, when the union essentially said, oh, everything on the web is kind of the Wild West. So the problem got pushed, and the problem got pushed, and the problem got pushed on kind of how we're going to handle what it's like when stuff is distributed on YouTube, when it's distributed online, and then you kind of develop into streaming services. Now technology has jumped a step further than kind of our legislation did previously. Okay, now what are we going to do? Well, now it's a much more complicated problem, and then fast forward until there's AI, and now the problem is so complicated that it doesn't seem like there's a clear answer. And I don't know if there should be a clear answer. I'm not in charge of what is efficient or what makes someone money or why someone wants to watch something. I mean, truthfully, we're at a point where like reality TV makes the most sense to produce because it's the cheapest and the easiest to get people, and none of those people are actors, you know?
Right.
And none of those things are necessarily union, you know? Maybe they're using some union here, some union there, but it's like patchwork. It's not like a network show in the past.
So as far as acting goes and where it's kind of been in the last few years, how does that make you feel kind of like mentally, you know, in a state of like, you know, my main source of income might be jeopardized or might be lessened because of what they're putting out there now?
I will say two things. One, I'm very lucky. I think in the world of acting, the world of entertainment, like you are only as good as your last thing, and you are only going as far as people are helping you to go. Like
Absolutely.
There's nobody who does it themselves. Everything's a ladder. So every opportunity I've gotten is off of my hard work, but off of the fact that someone saw it and gave me that opportunity. Doesn't matter how hard you work or how good you are if a door isn't open. That's
Right.
just reality. So I'm very grateful that doors have been open for me, especially a door now kind of into the online space, because I would be out of the game if I wasn't working for Smosh on YouTube. Because through them, I'm able to do other things, like on the React channel, and get to meet awesome people like you and talk to you for a little while. So I would say anyone that wants to be an actor now, or an entertainer, like you have to be using social media, and I say that fully hypocritically. I'm horrible at social media. It's not anything that I grew up interested in. I'm like naturally antisocial, but I would say for people who are able to do it and do it effectively, lean in. That's how you're going to be recognized for things. I mean, Kombucha Girl has made more money than I'll ever make in my entire life, and that's not even the most important part of her story. Like, she gets to actually impact people, talk about herself, like, enjoy herself. I mean, I am referring to her not even by her name so that everyone knows what I'm talking about, but it's Brittany Broski. You know, like, it's just, there's really, really cool stories and opportunity that social media provides for people who are a great comedian, who are a great actress, who aren't
able to get on the big screen and have that opportunity presented to them. There is a platform like, you know, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, Twitter, whatever it is, you know, Smosh, or whatever platform it is, to where they can grow and be discovered.
Yeah, and get real legitimacy. You know, there's probably not until the last 5-ish years, you know, really the most recent generation, Gen Z plus what would it be, like Gen Alpha, both combined now provide real legitimacy and real viewership and power behind the creators that they follow. You know, for years, everyone on YouTube was a joke. And, I mean, rightfully so, a lot of them are. But, you know, truly talented people are there. And that's the only opportunity that they were given, and they had to make it for themselves. And,
Absolutely.
you know, who am I to kind of, like, I don't know, like, brush that aside? That's what's giving me opportunity, is people who created something for themselves, you know?
Absolutely.
Two guys, Ian and
it's
Anthony.
huge right now. Like social platforms, whether it's even social apps, you know, like people are getting discovered on Instagram to be on Netflix, reality shows, documentaries, and so forth. You know, it doesn't just stop at a physical encounter at a restaurant, or, you know, like you have a platform where you can push your work and pretty much give them your resume, and it's there for everyone to see worldwide, not just national or city or state. So that just gives you a better, I guess, plethora of atmosphere to kind of get discovered.
Yeah. And I do think the worldwide aspect is really, really cool about it. Because as an actor, you always have to be okay with being typecast, with being understood for your surface level, but also for how people perceive that you can be perceived. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know, people playing dumb in movies aren't necessarily dumb. Maybe they are, but honestly, it's just because they're really, really good at being perceived, and like they're great actors, you know?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And so as kind of stuff develops further, it's really cool to see casting opportunities be widened and continually be widened.
Now, how would you differentiate yourself from being typecasted? Because I know that's a lot of actors' problems. Like, hey, you have this specific look, or you're used to doing parts that are this particular type. How do you kind of just like lure away from that, or put yourself in a situation where you're not just booking, you know, roles that are that particular type?
Typecasting is strange because, number one, I'm not a casting director. I'll share one story that's really, really funny about casting after my light commentary, but I would say lean into typecasting. It really, really sucks, and I think for a long time the issue was not allowing people in on the joke. I think for a lot of our content, especially in the past, if you watch movies from like 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, a lot of the ways that people try to do comedy is a lot of punching down sometimes, which I think is just incorrect comedy. So when you're punching down and then you're typecasting someone, a viewer who is not necessarily watching it in order to fully understand the intention of the writer or the director, and that's me coming in with good faith, might view, a stereotyped character doing a stereotyped bit or joke and then take that as reality instead of taking it as commentary on what you shouldn't be like. And not shouldn't be like the stereotype, but you shouldn't be the person who is stereotyped.
Absolutely.
People who misinterpret South Park and think Cartman is funny because he's someone to be like or jokes to emulate, when they don't get that Cartman is the biggest joke of them all, and that's why he's a funny character.
Right.
So I think that's why casting is really, really important, and why diversity in a writer's room, why diversity in a casting office, why diversity in directors and the production crew is super, super important. Because at the end of the day, the person that's being viewed, it's not up to you how you're being perceived, but there's a lot of ways in which you can help the perception. And that's, every step in the production. So when it comes to being typecast, the reality is great. We do need, someone overweight. We do need someone who's skinny. We need someone who's tall. We need someone who is Asian. We need someone who's black. We need someone who's Jewish. We need someone who's this. Great. Now we can actually look at people and use them for what they are, but I don't mean use in a negative way. Like truthfully see them for what they are. Like you can be in the office and we can cast anyone we want to be the guy behind the desk. That's great. But actually in my show, I've decided that this character is a black guy. Oh, that's great, because if it's written correctly, now black people have someone to look at and enjoy, and he can do jokes that are like, very much inclusive. Like we get to, it's the opposite of being colorblind and seeing color. Like in both worlds, everyone gets to be equal, but actually being colorblind means everyone's equal, but no one is seen. I want a world full of color. I want everyone to be treated great and everyone to be valued for who they are, but I also want everyone to be able to be who they are and be valued for that specifically as well.
Absolutely.
So that's where typecasting is kind of a double-edged sword, where I think in the past it was much more a single-edged sword, because it was kind of, you're only being casted by, the casting director is always going to be a white person, the director's always going to be a white person, the writer's always going to be a white person, so they're always going to see the people coming in and see the characters in a specific way, especially when it's the past and worldviews are less diverse, especially when the audience who's paying for something to be made has a less diverse worldview than probably the people making it. So it's not always the director and the writer who's decided to make reductionist content. It's sometimes the audience that chooses that that's what they want and that's what's going to make money. So, your hands are kind of tied sometimes, but it's kind of like a Gordian knot where it's a fake tie. If you can just cut it in the right place, you can say, screw all of this kind of bullshit. I'm going to cast who I want, and they're going to get to be who they want to be. And I think that's kind of where we are now, where, a great example is Miss Marvel or the new Ariel or anything, where it's great, we're going to spread the casting. And I think that there's ways that it is heavy-handed and I think not effective. But if I were going to choose two realities, and one is everyone is diverse now, great, that's better than where I was before. So I'm not upset about it just because, they're not looking for the skinny Jewish guy anymore and they'd rather cast anybody else. Cool. I'm not, people with glasses aren't the nerdiest people on the planet anymore and have to play a specific role. Oh, great, there goes some of my jobs. They're going to cast someone else to be a nerd. But,
do you feel
that's fine.
Do you feel like typecasting plays a lot with people's mental space? Because let's say, for example, if you're a Jewish person or if you're a black person, I'm only gonna apply for these particular roles because that's what I am, and that's what they're gonna see, and that's all that I am, to where it's almost like a mental fuck, to where, how do I kind of diversify myself from getting these particular roles? I feel like that's also plays into it could be depression or secluding yourself, because I'm only booking these roles as an actor, or I'm only getting these parts because of the color of my skin or the way that I look or whatever that may be.
I think it is unbelievably reasonable for that to impact the mental health of the performer, because it's difficult, and difficult in quotes, because everyone's life and everyone's job has incredible difficulty that's like to empathize with is world crushing. But the reality is you can't control always how you're perceived. And as an actor or an influencer or a musician or an entertainer, a lot of the times how you make money, how society sees you, how you express yourself and get your own self-worth, and your social structure as well are all intertwined in one thing. And that's a specific blessing and a curse. Some people can go to work and clock out. Some people, when they go to work, their boss is too friendly and they feel like they have to be best friends with him. And if they're not, best friends with him from 9 to 5 at the office that they hate, then they're not going to get that promotion in 2 years. And like that makes the job at the office so much harder. So like every layer of like bullshit that you have to go through is a barrier, and that it's understandable why that would affect people. It affects me in my own life in what I do, but yeah, that's kind of
the acting portion of it. This is something that I feel like I always ask actors, particularly like, how do you separate acting from reality? Like, if you have, like, let's say this big role in this movie or this big role in this sitcom, and it's a particular part. Like, let's say, for example, you play something that's still related in the realm of what you're doing, like comedy, and it's super, super funny, but then it's like it gets too intertwined with your reality. And it's like almost to the point where I've been doing this for, like, let's say people that have been doing it for, like Seinfeld, for example, they've been doing it for all these years, and it's like, am I really this person now? Because I've been doing it for so long to where you can't clock in and out.
I can only speak on, and in a much smaller way, from my own experience, is content similar to Seinfeld, because there's like legitimate schools of acting, that I have never subscribed to or been trained in legitimately, where it's like method acting and
are you staying ways. In the comedy realm of like, you're not going to thriller or
I'll
action?
I'll do anything at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I've auditioned for many things, didn't get them. The closest I got to like a drama would be the Man of Steel way back. What's his name? Schneider. God, I can't remember his first name. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, Adam Sandler's guy.
No, not Rob Schneider.
Oh,
No.
okay.
The guy he directed Justice League, all the shit. Over here, the camera crew's so mad at me right now. But essentially, it was between me and the main kid, Zack Snyder. There we go. Thanks, Sam. Zack Snyder. It was between me and the kid that played Teenage Superman, and I didn't get it because I was too short. But that was the closest I've gotten to like a drama role. But that doesn't really matter, because what matters is that someone else got it. They did a great job, and I hope they're doing great. But yeah, mainly in the comedy realm that I do is similar to like Seinfeld, where you are playing yourself. That the only tip that I can give is you have to start from a legitimate place. If you are going to be playing a heightened version of yourself, you really have to be honest. Not only will people not believe you if you're not honest, but you also need to be able to give yourself space to grow. And it's very difficult to grow when you've chosen a box for yourself.
Right.
So the best thing that I could say is like really lean into positivity, curiosity, even ignorance. And I don't mean like be ignorant. I mean like if you are ignorant, lean into that and shed it. But it's fine if that's in content,
Right. And use it as motivation to grow.
Yeah.
So like roles like, let's say, for example, the Joker. Would you be able to play that role and do comedy, but then it's almost like, would you embed your reality with the part of your acting?
So I can, as how I act, I approach everything where I don't have to. I find myself in all of it. You have to, I think, be able to relate to the character to truly be the character and then play the character. You have to find kind of the angle and the kernel of what they are and what their motivations are. This is the biggest cliche in the world, but acting is reacting. So like as long as you can actually embody who it is, like it doesn't, like that's the important space to get into. So like doing something like the Joker, like I would love to do something like that. Like in The Dark Knight Rises, I think that's a great goddamn role. I could never do it as well, but I think that it's a great example of like taking something and truly finding yourself in it. I mean, the dude is acting his ass off to the point where every single
100%.
other actor in the movie is now doing a better job. There's nothing better for an actor than acting against someone who is better than you, because you will never look so good in your goddamn life. You'll be able to jump up to their speed so quick because you are there with them. So I don't method act. Energy. Yeah. I don't. So like I can snap in and out. I mean, you have to get into a headspace if you're going to do something
that
sad.
part,
If you're going to,
you have to get into that headspace, and you have to be able to clock in and out, because you have to look at it as a job and not make it become reality.
Yeah.
You know, it's just even with like reality TV people, you know, where they
you're playing all day long.
Yeah, like you're going in as yourself, but then it's also an amplified version of yourself. So then when you go out, are you that turned up, or are you that lit, or are you that whatever, you know, because you're so used to being on camera with this particular, you know, image or whatever the case is. So it's almost like that, but in a whole nother level where you're actually playing someone else or someone that could be similar to you, and where you're believing that's like, now this is my new reality.
In the strangest way, I think that people can relate to YouTubers and social media people are also the people who are the mascots at like Disneyland and stuff. You know, it's very similar, not in the way that not to like devalue what they're doing or what I'm doing. You know, it's not people waiting in line and taking pictures, but like that someone is consuming something specific. You know, they're here to be entertained. Great. So I'm going to be the most entertaining, happy part of me. I'm not lying. I'm not pretending that I'm someone else. I'm just happy now. Why would I? I'm choosing to be happy. Yeah, I'm happy. If you ask me at any time, how am I doing? I'm okay. If I choose to be, let me tell you about it. Sure, let me tell you what's making me happy. Let me tell you what's making me sad. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And sometimes, you know, you can't choose because life is really hard sometimes. When it comes to like making the content, that's the skill and that's the job, is deciding like, great, yep, I am incredibly sad because, you know, my family member passed away. All this shit is going on. It's horrific. I actually was crying about 10 minutes ago. Anyway, let's play some Cards Against Humanity and have some fun with my friends. You know?
Absolutely. So speaking of like family and having time outside of work, when are you free, being that you're doing all this Smosh and, you know...
I am free more than I would like to be. I'm freelance, so I'm, you know, when I'm asked to work, I work. So, you know, I'm lucky to work a lot. That's what I would say. I don't work like a standard 9 to 5. When I first started working for Smosh, I was on a salaried contract where I was in an office essentially every day. But now it's no longer the case. So I'm a freelance actor, which has been great. So I'm able to do stuff on Smosh's YouTube channel, Smosh Pit, Smosh Games, as well as do things over on the React channel and People vs. Food and some other places here and there. But those are the main spots that you can check me out.
People vs. Food.
People vs. Food. It's really fun. So we will try foods. There's some really talented chefs back there, like Chef Ash, Nicole's out there. And so we'll look at popular movies, video games, try foods from them. We'll do challenges, try foods from around the world. What's crazy is there's usually a really gross punishment. So, you know, we'll do like, foods from Disney. And it's like, great. Oh, look at this, the beautiful dish from Cinderella and the beautiful dish from this. And then it's like, okay, you can't eat any of it. You have to go through 5 rounds. And if you eat even just one thing, instead of getting a wonderful...
What's the 5 rounds consist of?
So it'll be like, from Cinderella, here's her wedding cake.
Right.
Do you want this beautiful wedding cake? The most delicious wedding cake you've ever had in your life. You have to just sit there and choose not to eat it. And I always lose because I want to try everything. And then the next time it'll be like...
Why do you have to choose not to eat it?
Because that's the challenge. Can you not eat it in order to get a prize at the end?
Okay, but you don't know what the prize is.
You have no idea. And then at the end, the prize will be something more extravagant than you could have even imagined. I mean, like...
Like, what's the most extravagant prize?
Oh, my goodness. I mean, I've had whole margaritas with racks of ribs, sliders,
more
grilled
food.
chicken, baked beans, just the best possible barbecue you could ever have in your life, you know? And then if you failed the challenge, instead of getting the barbecue, you'll have to eat something really, really gross from the media. So if it's Disney, like, I don't know, something gross from Disney. What's gross from Disney? You gotta eat, the Hunchback from Notre Dame's boils. I don't know. And they like make his boils and you got to eat them and they're disgusting. They're made out of like buffalo balls or, you know.
Yeah.
So it's fun games like that.
That's fun.
And it's really cool that now I kind of get to do things like that because it's lighthearted, it's fun, and I view it as comedic entertainment. I still think that I'm acting and I view myself as an actor.
Happy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it also makes me happy because it's honestly really, really fun.
Absolutely. I love to hear it. So everyone that comes on, we play this game. I'm going to play with you. And we are doing Pick Your Poison After Dark.
Oh, my goodness.
So we're going to do...
Let's do it right.
How you play this, before I start, there's rules of the game.
Okay.
You have to answer.
Oh,
you can't remix the question.
Okay.
And you can give your explanation as to why you answered the way that you answered.
Okay,
because
perfect.
Some of them are kind of off the wall.
Okay.
So we're going to pick 6 cards each, and how you're going to do it is read what's on this card or what's on this card, and that person has to choose.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, that's not a good one. Okay. All right.
Alrighty.
You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You know what? I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay.
Go for it.
Would you rather have your whole family convert to Scientology, or
Jesus.
have to write a death threat to the president and mail it to the White House with your return address?
Ooh.
So I think in both, you're going to some form of prison.
I would rather... Well, I don't want to go to prison. I feel like... I would never do this, but I feel like with Scientology, even though I'm not a big fan of it, and I know it's really popular here in LA, obviously you guys see my religion of choice, but I would rather, don't kill me family, convert everyone to Scientology because I'm not going to jail. Sorry, guys.
God, you're gonna...
Sorry, guys. I'm gonna be like, all right, you guys, this is what they taught us, but deep down inside, we believe in Jesus.
Oh no, I am writing a death threat to the president ASAP. I'm making it as crazy as I can so that they put me in solitary.
But you're a comedian, so you could play it off.
Like, what? Oh, you can't play that off?
But how am I
going to play that off?
I would literally be like, I was joking, guys. Sorry, April Fools. You know, like, you're a comedian, so you can play.
I don't know. I feel like they make my ass an example. You think this is funny?
No, I think you could potentially get away with it. Now, me? Absolutely not.
Look,
They're not going to think I'm playing.
Maybe. They
would probably be like,
Scientology.
let me look at his background and let me look at his, choice of things that he's choosing to do. Like, mine is everything that I do is very serious, besides podcasts and questions of would you rather, of course. I feel like everything I do is like charity work, and they're going to be like, oh, she wants to kill the president, she's serious. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Wait, but look, if you convert to Scientology, all your charity work is now going to have to be for Scientology. You know they take over every organization they join.
That is true.
It's a legitimate evil group of people.
110% agree with you. But I feel like we could have our own little evil cult.
You know what?
Over
Yeah,
here.
you're right. You can have your own pod.
Yeah, and we don't have to bother nobody. We can
Okay.
Scientology by ourselves and
Okay.
not necessarily have to threaten the president that I'm going to kill you.
Okay.
And the whole world knows that I'm going to kill the president.
That's
I don't
funny.
want no dealings.
No, they're putting me in prison.
No political anything going on.
Yeah.
Try to stay away from politics.
I'm going to prison, and I'm going to have to join MS-13 so the skinheads don't get me. That's about it.
Hilarious. Okay. Would you rather use a cell phone shaped like a penis or hand out fortune cookies with bigoted sayings on them every Halloween?
Whoa, on a Halloween, I hand out bigoted fortune cookies?
Yes.
The fortune cookies on Halloween, as a non-Asian, already feels kind of bigoted. But then what I write inside to the kids, damn.
Yes.
The question is, with these fortune cookies, have I already pre-labeled which ones are for which race and gender and identification?
No racial discrimination on anything. You're just giving out bigoted.
It's just a hand, because I think I'd have to label
here's
them.
My bowl. Pick your poison.
It'd be kind of crazy.
Grab a fortune cookie.
It'd be kind of crazy if you got a fortune cookie that was bigoted, but it didn't apply to you. You know?
Yeah,
like, I think I'd just be confused.
I grabbed the wrong fortune cookie.
Yeah, like, on the person making them, I'm just suggesting maybe they should identify which ones are for, so they can hand them out correctly. But with that being said, no, I can't do the fortune cookies. I can't.
So you're doing the cell phone penis.
Oh, yes, completely.
Works for you.
I mean, my iPhone already looks like my penis. Just a rectangle, sorry.
Comedy. It's on you. Let's see what we have.
Okay, what is this crazy shit?
Crazy.
Oh, this is fucking weird. Okay, have a family member walk in on you getting off to animal porn, or pull all the teeth out of your mouth.
Okay, first of all, I'm not doing animal porn.
You started with I love, so your next sentence really matters.
I love my teeth.
Okay, yeah.
adore my teeth. I've been through braces. I've been through Invisalign twice, and I have veneers. So
Invisalign twice, and then veneers,
and I had an expander before my braces.
Wow.
So my teeth have been a construction of professional work.
Bob
So,
the Builder been in there, and he did a great job.
well, thank you so much. But it was literally build a mouth, like you said, Bob the Builder. But you're gonna have to pull my teeth out, and I'm just gonna have to redo my teeth because I am not. Animal porn, guys, come on now.
I was trying to think, like, if I could save my teeth, maybe, like, you have a family member.
Animal porn?
Listen, just follow me down for a second. I was thinking, like, maybe if I got, like, a family member that was close to death, you know? Like, maybe they'd take it to their grave, but then I realized that if they walked in on it, they would just die in that moment, and then I'd be responsible for it.
No, I would literally, like, first and foremost, why are you doing animal porn in the first place?
No, not you doing it. You're getting off to it.
That's even, I mean, both of them are just bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you're getting off on a family member.
Okay,
Why are
wait
you
a minute.
watching
I'm going to ask you a
member?
question. I'm going to ask you a question, and they just might edit it out. But we're here because of the game. Which is worse? Being the person who produced the animal porn or being the person who seeked it out and then consumed it for their sexual pleasure?
Like the actual act of it itself, or the person behind the camera watching the act and producing?
I realize this,
like,
I don't like this question because I think both are incredibly immoral.
No,
and
everyone
just
involved
horrifying.
is like disgusting.
Yeah.
And sick and like needs to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Period,
100%.
point blank.
I think that's one thing that everyone can get behind is
like
bestiality is just
fetishes
not
are one
okay.
thing. Being judgmental to fetishes is a whole nother thing. Personal input on preference of what I want to do.
Yeah.
I am not.
Yeah. You know what?
I don't care what type of animal it is. I don't tell. First and foremost, you're not seeing me on camera doing whatever it is that I'm doing with who, person-wise, that I'm doing it with, let alone a beast.
That's it. Yeah. No, we're on that. We're on the same thing.
Completely off the animal porn.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the other one is, but anything but the animal porn.
Yeah. No, my teeth are gone. I'm just gonna go to the dentist.
And again, I adore and love my teeth. Have been through from the age of 10 years old to 37 years old. Have been through hell and back.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something I would be like, oh, I don't want to get rid of my teeth.
No, I'd rather join Scientology.
Right, exactly. Don't get rid of my teeth. Okay, but I have to.
Yeah.
If that's the option,
we're not,
if that's the poison that I have to pick,
Yeah.
that's the one I'm picking. Okay. Would you rather have sex with your most attractive cousin or be permanently high?
Oh, I'm permanently high. That's already a status I'm in.
110%.
What? That was so easy, that choice. That one was so easy.
110%.
That was insane. Would you rather have to eat poop or just like a hot pocket?
Okay, let's change it then. Instead of being instead of being permanently high, have sex with your most attractive cousin or sleep with a sheep.
Fucking hell. Oh, wait. Sleeping is my own interpretation. That sounds fucking great. They're soft.
That's a good explanation.
Oh, my God.
Sleeping and not having sex.
Damn straight. That's great.
explanation.
Sleeping with a sheep. You ever hugged a cow? It's so nice.
No, I have not.
Oh,
I haven't
you
had
should
the
do it.
opportunity to hug a cow.
If you ever have the opportunity, hug it. I'm not even kidding.
I will.
Okay. I'm crying because of my LASIK, but I promise it's okay. Would you rather... Okay, here we go. See dead people wandering around everywhere you go, or have to bring a sex doll with you everywhere you go?
See dead people.
Yeah, I think see dead people because I'd rather...
I'd be interested. I'd be intrigued.
You'd be interested in the dead people?
Yes, I would be intrigued and be like, why do I see you, and why are you dead, and why are you here, and why now?
That's so funny.
I would literally want to have like a whole conversation like, is there purgatory?
They might not even speak your language.
But I see them, so I'm like, I'm gonna try.
Wait, but you can only see them. Who says they can speak? You're gonna have to learn sign language and then hope that they know it also. You can only speak to dead deaf people.
Well, what if they can speak, or what if we can write each other's stuff and we?
But wait. How can a ghost
of...
speak? Because to speak, you need to bring air through your through like your throat, and your muscles have to like, and then you need a tongue to flap on physical mouth.
But there's other ways to speak besides actually physically speaking.
Are you telepathic, Telli?
I don't know. I might be. Damn. But you can probably like, why can't they write, or why can't they like breathe into like, I don't know, a cold space on a wall that's glass and then write
And
out
then, like,
something.
squeaky, squeaky,
Or I
squeaky.
bring out a Ouija board and you a Ouija with me. You know? Who's
Yeah, but
to
a Ouija
say
board,
that
you don't
we
know if
can't-
who's using it is that ghost you're seeing, right?
That's true too.
Or ghost demons?
I don't know. I don't believe all ghosts are bad ghosts.
So you can see ghosts, but you still can't see the rest of, like, this in-between realm?
Okay, so let's talk about The Sixth Sense, right?
Okay. The movie?
So, yeah, the movie.
Okay.
So he could see ghosts, right? Or he can,
Yeah,
he can see dead
the,
people.
the kid can see dead people, yeah.
Okay. But he was able to communicate with them, right?
Yeah.
That's my point. Like, what if
Yeah.
I'm able to communicate with them and know how they can possibly transition into wherever they need to transition to?
If that's the truth, then, and I was you, I'm going to be honest, I'm only helping pirates transition who can tell me where that treasure is. Everyone else,
I would feel like it would be my purpose in life, my reason why. If I'm able to see them, I feel like religiously I was meant to.
So I have a question off of that. Is it moral for a medium and a psychic to charge money?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think, but if you classify yourself as a psychic and a medium, I don't feel like that's the same thing as a prophet.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, a
You know what
prophet,
I'm
a prophet
saying?
is like in a religious context, right?
Right. So I feel like if you're going about it in a religious manner, like this is what I'm meant to do because this is my religion and this is why God.
Oh, I
or
see.
whoever
so
put
someone
me
who
on
believes,
this earth,
yeah, like it's a higher
then it
calling
wouldn't
that
be.
brought the power.
Yes, it's a higher calling that brought the power. Why would I charge you? I'm giving you this knowledge because I was brought here to give you this knowledge. That is my purpose in life. Now, if you're classifying yourself as a psychic and you got to read tarot cards or whatever it is that you do to deal with whatever it is that you deal with or the extra ability that you have, I feel like, I don't do that. So I would feel like, I don't know if that, makes them have migraines or makes them have headaches.
Oh, so
or
there might, need
there might
to be
be some
legitimate
medical,
compensation.
there might be some medical issue that's going
Or
on
maybe
to
they
where
can't,
it might be
do
too
a
much
normal-
going on in their mind to where it's like there's a lot to process. Like that movie with Mel Gibson, where
Passion of the Christ.
not Passion of the Christ, great movie, but What Women Want.
I have never seen that.
Oh my gosh, please go home and watch it.
Okay.
He can literally hear women's thoughts. Every woman.
Oh my God.
In the
I would
streets
hate
around
to
him.
hear anyone's thoughts.
Exactly my point. So it's like if you can't, I guess, pinpoint or target, or you have to like go in a trance to get to that particular person's thoughts of like, I don't know, what do you call it? Mediumism, I guess. I don't know. But
Smallness.
yeah, whatever it is that you call that particular talent, or it might not even be, people might not consider it as talent. It might be a curse to them. I don't know. But I feel like whatever it takes for you to focus on that particular medium situation or that particular psychic ability, I feel like, now this is my opinion because I'm not a psychic or medium or can do telepathic activities, I feel like that is strenuous to your health. So I feel like if it's strenuous to your health, you should definitely charge.
You know what? At the end of that, you know what you just made me think of? If you're psychic, you should apply for disability. There you go.
110%.
I'm a psychic. It hurts to think.
I don't know. I'm not a psychic. Who knows? It might be. I just feel like if I can feel what you have going on, or I know what you have going on, and I could feel what Mac has going on, or Chandler or Sam over there has going on, I'd be like, this is too much fucking shit going on, and I have my own shit going on. I gotta get paid for this. I'm sorry. I know your problems. I know your problems. I can tell you what you're going on in your life.
I better
need
get
some money
paid for this.
shit.
Mac,
do you want to know what's going on with your life? Do you want to know your future? Do you want to know what's going on with your life?
We can do it right here. You know what I will say, though?
Saying?
Psychics, this is my true belief, because I don't know about anything. All I know is psychics have the ability called cold reading. That is what they're doing to people. They're cold reading people. So if you're great at reading people, you can go in, put on a little hat, and all day long make $40.
Now the fake ones don't get Now you're scamming me. Now I feel like you need to go to jail. You know. But if you really have that talent, ability, curse, whatever you want to call it, I feel like if it's strenuous to your body and it hurts or it's painful or whatever, it affects your health mentally, physically, whatever, I do believe you need to get paid.
Make it
because
happen.
it's a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
So whether you want to use that ability or not, that's your choice. Not my business. No judgment. No judgment to that. But I do feel like you need to, if you're psychic and it is health effective, you need to get paid. Now, if it don't hurt,
got to call the Long Island medium. It looked like it hurt.
You know, like
Looking at
Tyler,
her, it looked like
for
it hurt.
example. Tyler, the medium, you know.
I don't know
that's
Tyler the medium.
All right, there's this medium that like does celebrity medium stuff.
Uh-huh.
I feel like he needs to get paid because I feel like it's a lot.
He gets paid.
Oh, no, 110%.
Yeah,
he gets paid.
yeah.
But I'm saying, like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot on your mental.
That's funny. I need to get into that because maybe I just haven't tested myself in the right way. I'm going to hit up Tyler and I'm going to say, like, how did you know that you were a psychic? Like, what did you do to know?
Like,
because what if we're psychic and we don't know?
But he said it doesn't work on, like, super close people of his family. It only works on, like, other people. So it's like you can't, not you can't be. That's hilarious. But it's like, you know, I just wouldn't want everyone's problems, issues, or like whatever they're good. It's a lot. Like everyone has their own things to deal with to life. And I just feel like that would be a heavy burden to carry. And then the position of having to like let you know, like, what if I know when you're going to pass? What if I know when you're going to get hurt? What if I know like certain things that you might not want to know, where it's like, damn, I know this about this person. Do I want to tell them? Should I tell them? Would it affect their life and their way of living? Like there's so much thought into it.
Not to cut you off, but in the middle of that, you said something that sounded really scary if it was said in a horror movie. I'm psychic because I know when you're going to pass. I didn't like that.
Insane.
It sounds like you're about to kill me, Telli. When you tell me you know when I'm going to pass, it sounds like you secretly know that like there's an anvil
like I would
above
kill
me.
Someone with
I don't know. I'm not
here.
psychic.
Like,
I didn't see the future. So you say.
Either. I'm not psychic.
So
I'm not telepathic
say.
and I'm not psychic. I wish I had a talent that I wouldn't say I want to be psychic, but I wish I had the talent to know, like, be a fly on the wall in certain rooms. That I do wish I
What room?
want. I don't know. Maybe
Tell me what room.
Like a room where they're making executive decisions about business and my business was right on the table.
Like your business?
Yeah,
oh, okay,
particularly. Like, you know, certain rooms that are like beneficial.
Wait. But now you should be psychic. Because you would know what to do in order to make that deal happen. You wouldn't just see it,
yes,
you know?
But I don't think it works in your benefit. I think,
okay. You think if you try to impact everything in your life at some point, you'll like stumble.
I feel like psychics aren't psychic for their own personal gain. They're psychics for everyone else's gain. You know what I'm saying? Like
a mix
work.
of...
I don't think it works that
I
way.
can see it. Not that it's what you believe, but in my brain, I'm taking it. It's like a mix of almost like karmic energy where it's like,
or
if
you're
I
taking
impact...
other people's energy and you're empathizing what they go through or you know, making that decision on whether you want to tell them or not. Or if they're like, hey, I'm charging $1,000 so you can get a cleansing because I see a lot of negative, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think in that case where you can see when people die, I think the only moral way is to charge money for it. Because that means that the person has decided that they want to know.
Right. 110%.
I just justified you making so much money.
Okay, I'm going to ask you one question.
Okay, I'm going to blow my nose. I'm so sorry.
Okay, no, you're good. I pick up the last one.
I apologize that I'm crying
during
the whole time. It's for you, Sam. All these tears.
Okay. So I'll give you a good one in exchange for your good one you gave me.
Oh, I should do one more also?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Would you rather, last but not least, lick an unwiped butthole or always let out a loud fart 2 minutes into sex? Which will completely turn the person off.
Letting out a big fart, I think, kind of makes a butthole then dirty again, right? I guess I'm not licking my own butthole. Yeah, I'm not going to lick a dirty butthole.
Someone else's butthole, but
Look,
it's not
I've been
clean.
dating my girlfriend for 7 years. I think at this point she can put up with me farting every time we have sex.
Yeah, I feel like once you get to a point of like comfortability, I feel like it's okay.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oops, sorry, babe.
That's life. Yeah, it's life. You know what isn't life? Choosing to have a dirty butthole.
Yeah.
Clean that butthole.
That's just a hygiene preference of like wanting to be dirty. And that's nasty. And I'm not having sex with anyone that is not cleaning.
No.
And why would I lick your asshole anyway?
Well, I mean, if it's
Like
dirty.
in a sense of like you just shitted and be like,
Yeah. No.
Over here and
Take
let
a
me-
shower.
no,
Yeah.
like,
You know,
why?
I do think it's fun that like now people talk about ass eating, and I say now as in like, bro, I've grown up
It's
and I was
okay,
talking about
yeah.
it, but like in the past people didn't, and I understand it because they were probably dirty.
Are you
So-
saying you do groceries?
Oh, of course, of course. Eat it all up like groceries. I'm going to goddamn Kroger. That's where I'm going, and I got a number. I got a rewards number. Okay, my points are accruing.
I am crying. That is hilarious.
All right, here we go.
What's your last but not least?
Oh, wow. Get ready for this. Take 5 shots of tequila every morning at breakfast, or have sex with a dead person. I'm going to be honest. If you have to have sex with a dead person.
The tequila.
Yeah, breakfast better include
Run
the
the tequila every morning. I will be drunk and functional. And
This sounds
still get
like
on
vacation.
podcasts.
Yeah.
And still get on podcasts and be composed.
Yeah.
If I'm drinking 5 shots every day.
If I'm taking 5 shots every morning at breakfast, I'm just switching my sleeping schedule. So like morning is my nighttime.
Exactly.
And I'm partying at 7 a.m.
But sleep with a dead person, like, come on.
No, I would
like,
never.
I will be psychic and know when you gotta die before I sleep with a dead person. Are you kidding
Oh
me?
my God! Whoa! Wait! So you're telling me you can be a psychic? Know when
I would
someone's
rather.
One second. You can be a psychic. Know when someone is going to die. Choose to find them, date them, have sex with them, knowing at the specific time.
I didn't say that.
But you could, and then you could fuck them to death.
Oh no, not
'Cause
doing
you
that.
knew.
Not doing that.
Yep.
I'm not fucking someone to death. I
See,
will
you
choose
don't
to
know
tell
when someone dies.
I would choose to tell someone that their time has come and you should live your life the best way possible. Get everything off of your bucket list because you will die this way at this time, as opposed to having sex with a dead body.
I gotta
Not
say,
doing it.
this is have sex with a dead person, and I'm gonna be honest. I think person implies self-identification, right? I think I'm kind of dead inside. I think I'm a dead person.
No, like
I think I qualify.
physically, mentally,
Physically dead?
emotionally, organs shut down, dead.
Um,
Like that's rape at that point.
Wow, that's incredible. That is that
Having
is a
sex
crime.
with a dead person, not
I
rape.
think that's
like,
called defiling.
You will go to
it's a-
jail.
Yeah. What is that called? That's insane. Wow. I like that we have laws like that. They should exist.
110%.
Good laws out there.
110%.
We should go through every law and everyone should just get to vote. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Because
No.
some of them seem like they don't work anymore. That one's a good one.
That's
We'll keep that one.
That's molestation. That's rape. That is unorthodox behavior. That is so many different cruel and unusual punishment. Like it's so many different things that's wrong with having.
You
sex
know
with
what
a
I
dead
think the
person.
crime should be for that? I think they should have to have their family walk in on them getting off to animal porn.
Oof, even
Sorry,
worse.
I was trying to do a callback. It's one of the cards, and I was
On
looking
that
for one, and that was
note-
the only one I saw. It
On
was not a
that-
good callback.
On that note, tell them where they could find you and doing animal porn.
Yeah,
on
thank
Instagram
you.
and Smosh.
What a great way to say that. Yeah, of course, animal porn is all I do. It's all I'm known for. Sam, you're going to keep that in the edit. I know it. My name is Noah Grossman. I'm crying because I recently had LASIK, so lights make me cry. You can find me on Instagram at Noah Grossman 214, and of course on YouTube at Smosh, Smosh Pit, Smosh Games, also on the React channel, and People vs. Food. Thank you so much. And thank you, Telli, for hanging out with me. This is so dope.
Thank you so
It
much.
was really, really cool.
Make sure you guys follow everything that Noah has going on. Follow him on Smosh. Tune into all the things that he has coming up. And that is it for Telli Talks.